Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is August 9th, 2025, and it's been revealed how Barcelona reached an agreement with Mark Ter Stegen. Also, speaking of Ter Stegen, Barcelona have officially submitted the medical report of Ter Stegen's surgery to La Liga. And finally, Andreas Christensen could be granted a contract extension. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. We'll begin this video with the news that it's been revealed that Laporta met with Mark Ter Stegen face to face, which helped the two of them reach an agreement. Now, as I reported during yesterday's podcast, Barcelona, or I should say Mark Ter Stegen, issued a statement through his social media outlets where he explained his version of events and also announcing that he was going to agree to sign a medical authorization. And then moments later, Barcelona posted their own statement stating that they were closing the disciplinary file against Ter Stegen and that they were giving him the captaincy back. Well, now we know how this came about, and it looks like Laporta met with Mark Ter Stegen face to face. Some reports stating that Laporta went to Ter Stegen's house. The two of them sat down, they talked about it, and that's how the two of them reached an agreement, where moments later Mark Ter Stegen issued that statement. Again, if you want the details of that statement, make sure to check out yesterday's podcast and follow. And after that, Barcelona posting that statement, giving him his captaincy back and closing the disciplinary file. And who would have thought, right? Who would have thought sitting down and talking to each other face to face instead of, going at it would actually solve something, right? But Mo, the club are not obligated to talk to. Can you imagine if this had actually happened like a month or two ago? Could have avoided all this disaster, but no, I'm the crazy one. Anyway, speaking of Ter Stegen, Barcelona have officially submitted the medical report to La Liga to try to register Joan Garcia in the place of Mark. Now that La Liga have the medical report, it's reported that a medical committee, La Liga's medical committee, which contains 4 veteran trauma surgeons. Their names are Dr. Fernandez Yaen, Dr. Baro Pasos, Dr. Perez San Roque, and Dr. Ardebol. The 4 of them will review the medical reports and medical records that Barcelona have sent them. And then they need to unanimously agree on Barcelona, on these medical reports, and granting Barcelona the authority to register someone in the place of Mark Ter Stegen. And as I said, it has to be unanimous. That means all 4 doctors have to agree. But if there's one of them, just one of them, that it does not agree, then that would require a joint meeting where Barcelona would have to go there and talk to the doctors. Also, the doctors could request that Mark Ter Stegen show up for an examination where La Liga's committee would examine him in person. And this, of course, would delay the process, because usually this process of the committee reviewing the medical records only takes 2 to 4 days. But if there's no unanimous voting, which is very rare, it would take a lot longer. Therefore, it's expected that La Liga will grant Barcelona the permission to register someone else by Tuesday or Wednesday. So by then, hopefully the committee will agree, and then Barcelona will have 20 days to officially apply to register Joan Garcia in the place of Mark Ter Stegen. Now, since Ter Stegen is only going to be out 4 months, or at least that's what the report says, Barcelona can only use 50% of his salary to register someone else. If it's 5 months or more, they would be able to use 80%. Now, with the departure of Íñigo Martínez and with Mark Ter Stegen agreeing to submit this medical report, it's reported that Barcelona will be able to register both Joan Garcia, Szczesny, and Gerard Martín. But that, of course, leaves Marcus Rashford. He still cannot be registered. But maybe with the exit of Iñaki Peña, since tomorrow we do expect an official offer from Como, maybe that will help the registration of Marcus Rashford. By the way, I came across a pretty interesting piece of information or piece of data. This is the second time that Ter Stegen helps the club register someone. In 2023, he agreed to extend his contract and reduce his salary. And thanks to him reducing his salary, Barcelona were able to register Iñaki Peña. And now, because of his injury, they'll be able to register Joan Garcia. But hey, Mark Ter Stegen's a rat, right? He's the worst person ever. Anyways, now on to the next bit of news, because, ladies and gentlemen, Andreas Christensen could be granted a contract extension. Now, as you know, Deco does have a rule where if you're on your final year of contract, you either get sold or you renew, which, as I've said before, pretty ridiculous rule, because let's say Oriol Romeo says, I don't want to be sold. He only has a year contract. So if you don't want to be sold, the only option is renew. So what? We renew Oriol Romeo? Wouldn't it make more sense to let him go? But anyways, Deco has this rule, and therefore Christensen, who is on his final year of contract, Barcelona did not want to renew him, so the other option was to sell him. But of course, Christensen did not want to be sold. But now that Íñigo Martínez has left, Barcelona no longer have a need to get rid of one of their center backs, because that's what they were trying to do with Christensen. They thought there was an overbooking of center backs, so they were trying to push someone out. Christensen was their ideal candidate, but now Íñigo is gone, so now Christensen will most likely be offered a contract renewal. Now, it's reported that Barcelona through Deco will be meeting with Andreas Christensen's agents pretty soon, where the club could consider giving Christensen a 1-year contract extension until 2027. But they're saying there's no rush to do this, that this could happen after the transfer market is closed, because he still has a contract, so there's no rush. And again, he doesn't want to leave, so it's expected for Barcelona to give him this contract renewal after the market closes, because right now, of course, the full focus of Barcelona is to register players, because the season is right around the corner. Now, we will end today's video with some statements by Pedri, who was asked about the Ballon d'Or, since the nominees have been announced. I discussed all the nominees in a previous video. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. But he was asked, about Dembele and Lamine Yamal, and this is what Pedri had to say. Ousmane Dembele is a player with tremendous potential. He plays with both feet. I still don't know to this day whether he's left-footed or right-footed. He has scored a lot of goals this season, which is something he's not used to. I was with Lamine for many years. He's a great in one-on-one situations, and he's good at running with the ball too. In his dribbling, it seems as if he's not exerting any effort, and there's no one in front of him. We can say he enjoys playing. So Pedri's two favorite to win the Ballon d'Or is Dembele and Lamine Yamal, and that's what he had to say about the two of them. Of course, as I've said before, my sense is that probably Dembele is going to win it, because he did win the Champions League, and unfortunately the Ballon d'Or has become a Champions League competition where whoever wins the Champions League wins the Ballon d'Or, which is absolutely ridiculous, because after all, Dembele didn't do anything the first half of the season. He didn't start showing up until January. But yeah, players like Lamine, like Pedri, like Rafinha, they were exemplary that entire season. But hey, let's give it to someone who only performed for half a season versus players who performed an entire season. But of course, as always, I do want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions. Who do you think is going to win the Ballon d'Or? Who do you want to win the Ballon d'Or? Let me know down below in the comment section. And the final thing I say, even if Lamine doesn't win it, of course, he is 18 years old. He has plenty of years more to win it a million times, because I have no doubts that he will win multiple Ballon d'Ors. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I did post another video before this one, so if you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Viscarsa.